Hello again, English 1 students. It's Mr. Williamson. In my previous video, I just read out loud the preface to the Odyssey, and I didn't get around to just kind of explaining a little more about it. I want to do that very quickly. So we read out loud together. We read, Homer's like short introduction to it, uh, where he speaks to his muse and he's asking for inspiration to tell the story of Odysseus. I just want to elaborate a little more here. Um, Going back to this final paragraph where we left off, um, remember Odysseus is gone. He has gone off to fight the Trojan War. He was gone for 10 years of Trojan War, and then he was lost at sea for another 10 years. And this is the Odyssey, which is the story we're reading, is the story of Odysseus trying to get back home. In this line here where it says, he saw the townlands and learned the minds of many distant men, he is referring to Odysseus, okay? And what that means there is that when he says he saw the townlands and learned the minds of many distant men, it's just emphasizing that Odysseus is a well-traveled individual. Okay, he has traveled around the world. He has seen many different lands. He has encountered many different men, and he's learned from his journeys. Okay, and that's one of the key what you'll learn. One of the key characteristics of Odysseus as an epic hero is not only that he's a well-traveled individual, but he's also a very learned man, if you will. He's learned many things. He's a wise hero ultimately. That doesn't mean he doesn't make stupid mistakes, which he does, but he is respected for his wisdom and his ability to learn from his mistakes. And he's like the thinking man's hero. Okay. Weathered many bitter nights and days in his deep heart at sea. Okay. That's just emphasizing how he suffered on this journey. He has been lost at sea for 10 years. All he wants is to get back home to his wife, Penelope, and his son, Telemachus. He is trying to get back to his kingdom of Ithaca. While he fought only to save his life, to bring his shipmates home, okay, emphasizing what Odysseus is trying to do. Not only is he trying to get home, but he's trying to keep not only himself alive, but his men alive. He is their king, so he is responsible for them. He doesn't want his men to die on his watch, so he is trying to his best to keep everyone alive and bring them home, to bring his shipmates home. But unfortunately, this is spoilery. Homer's telling us up front, okay? But not by will nor valor could he save them, for their own recklessness destroyed them all. Okay? So this is telling us, Homer's already telling us up front that Odysseus's men are not going to make it home. They are going to die. But it's not, I mean, to a certain extent, yes, they are Odysseus' responsibilities, but they are also responsible for their own actions. And that's a key theme in the story. Consequences of one's own actions, for their own recklessness destroyed them all. That's telling us, the audience, that Odysseus' crew are going to ultimately suffer because of their own actions. Children and fools, he calls them children and fools. They killed and feasted on the cattle of Lord Helios, the sun. Okay, now this is a foreshadowing. Okay, this is a foreshadowing to a chapter that we will read later as we go along in this story. There's a chapter called "The Cattle of the Sun God," and what Homer is telling us here that is that in this particular chapter, when we see the cattle of the Sun God, because Lord Helios is the Sun God, things are going to go terribly wrong for the crew of Odysseus, and that they're going to do something that's going to cause them all to suffer. And he who moves all day through heaven took from their eyes the dawn of their return. Took from their eyes the dawn of their return. That tells us that they're going to die. Okay, so just want to let you know that that's what this particular part is. Homer is giving us a preview of some of the events that are going to happen in the story. In the next chapter, we're actually going to get into the story where Odysseus starts narrating what happened to him on his journey home.